Welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. This broadcast is also being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live, and do follow all our social media handles for more updates. President Bola Tinubu has been a special guest of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres in New York. President Tinubu arrived at the UN headquarters Wednesday evening on the invitation of the global body's helmsman in a meeting behind closed doors which lasted less than an hour. The Nigerian leader also stopped by at the office of the Deputy Secretary General and Nigerian former Minister Amina Mohammed for a similar visit. Earlier, President Tinubu was at the National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotation Stock Market, an American stock exchange based in New York. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, U.S. Africa Business Center hosted the president and honored him with the opportunity of performing the iconic bell-ringing ceremony at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square.
I am happy to bring Nigeria to your doorsteps and honored that we are here today with a bubbling market that we involve West Africa's sub-region. The greatest economy is Nigeria. There's an immense opportunity in Nigeria that you can invest your money without fear. We've removed a lot of bottlenecks. We've clear the oil subsidy that is corrupt, and we're also retooled the exchange rate to a reliable, dependable, one-figure floating of the exchange rate. You are free to take in your money and bring out your money. I count on you to invest in Nigeria.
The ceremony on the sidelines of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly symbolizes the significance of economic ties between the United States and Nigeria. And back home in Nigeria, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has deferred its 293rd meeting scheduled for Monday and Tuesday, September 25 and 26, 2023. A statement by the Director, Corporate Communications Department of the bank, Isa Abdulmumini, indicates that a new date will be communicated in due course. The Apex Bank says it regrets any inconvenience the change may have caused to stakeholders and the general public. The Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Afanaya Gisalo, has urged government agencies to work as a team to ensure the 8 priority areas of the present administration is achieved for the greater good of Nigerians. This was when the minister led the management staff of the ministry on a visit to the National Lottery Trust Fund. Kenneth Nanim reports.
How best to achieve economic growth, job creation, access to capital, food security, ending poverty, amongst others, which are the key 8 priority areas of the present administration, topped the discussion.
I urge ES and your staff to key in to Mr. President's agenda. And my hope that in the next 1 year, when you come for evaluation, this ministry should be the first who have performed.
The Executive Secretary of the National Lottery Trust Fund, Dr. Bello Megari, briefed the minister on the prospects and various interventions of the agency.
The project will also promote transparency, accountability in the sector, and gender confidence in order to attract huge investments.
This visit presents an opportunity for us to align our efforts and maximize our impact with a vision to the betterment of the lives of our citizens.
In addressing some of the challenges, the minister promised to intervene, especially in securing a permanent office space befitting the agency. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The federal government is at the forefront of advancing the strategic interests of Nigeria to make it economically viable. This is evident in the body language of President Bola Tinubu as he aggressively pursues his economic development diplomatic drive to attract foreign direct investment into the country. Adeola Komiakiri reports.
The diplomatic alliances embarked upon by the Tinubu administration have been commended by Nigerians and economic experts, as they say it is expected to attract foreign direct investments to the country, which will in turn boost the nation's economy.
Oil has been the mainstay of our national economy and international trade as well, but you have burgeoning industries.
With the president having a clear direction in all of these international commitments, it is expected that the benefits will materialize in form of job creation, boost local production, and accelerate economic growth.
So in terms of leveraging, what we can leverage on is the technological advantage that other countries have ahead of us. So let us work with them as partners in progress.
And to do that, we have to be productive. We must have power, electricity, to be able to run our factories.
Public analysts are optimistic that President Tinubu's economic diplomacy model will speed up economic recovery for the country. Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, wants the Federal Fire Service to brace for the training of both public and private sector fire and safety officers across the country. The minister made this known during an inspection tour of the National Fire Academy construction project in Kwali, Abuja. Victor Azu reports.
Available statistics show that in 2022 alone, Nigeria recorded more than 2,000 fire incidents with a loss of more than 1 trillion naira in valuables. This situation justifies establishment of the National Fire Academy in Kwali on the outskirts of Abuja, a training school with the capacity to accommodate about 340 persons at a time, but poor funding threatens to derail the project.
You see that the project is ongoing, and if the project is not completed, anybody that comes here for the training will not be able to do the training properly as expected.
Not anymore. Arriving the site for inspection, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, promises to breathe life into the project with a mandate for the Federal Fire Service to take on more than was originally intended.
I can tell you that we will work very, very hard to make sure that this place does not just become a place of training for the fire service alone.
And as more professionals pass through this academy upon completion, Nigerians will be looking to see a reduction in fire incidents across the country. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Now, the increasing number of graduates mobilized by the National Youth Service Corps has led state governments to begin expanding camp facilities to cater for at least 5,000 youth corps members. This issue of overstretching camp facilities was raised when the management of the NYSC met government representatives from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
Every year, tertiary institutions across the country produce more than 1 million graduates. And for the NYSC, Its orientation camps yearly can only accommodate between 300,000 to 350,000 youth corps members. At present, the scheme is faced with the challenge of poor state of orientation camps, inadequate accommodation for corps members, payment of allowances, insecurity of corps members rejection, underutilization of youth corps members by employers, and support for community service development.
The environment of the camp determines significantly the kind of a training and also the impression they form about each state.
These representatives of state governments in charge of youth affairs will be fashioning ways on how to enhance service delivery and better welfare that will make the service here interesting for youth corps members and the scheme. And since the challenge of insecurity continues to stare Nigerians in the face, the NYSC boss says night journey by prospective or youth corps members must be prohibited.
I appeal to the state government to initiate policies in discouraging corps members from night journeys.
The state government pays meal subsidy to NYSC authority at every orientation camp.
Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
On the security front, the Nigerian army is to be transformed into a world-class security force towards achieving its constitutional mandate of protecting the territorial integrity of Nigeria within a joint environment. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, re-echoed this at the inaugural seminar of the Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center, Giri, Abuja.
In view of the dynamic and complex nature of the nation's emerging security challenges, the Nigerian Army established the Heritage and Future Center. This is to enhance its capabilities through analysis of policies and procedures by proposing a novel and pragmatic options through innovations and application of technology to stem security threats.
The center is created as a research hub to address Nigeria's specific thematic challenges through studies, analysis, policy formulations that target optimal operational and administrative outcomes for the Nigerian Army. This has become necessary as the center is being positioned to carry out its establishment mandate in support of the Nigerian Army.
The vision of the center, the Chief of Army Staff noted, aligned with his vision of developing the service into a well-equipped and motivated fighting force in a joint environment.
Today, criminal groups across the zones are fast keeping pace with our options, thereby making our efforts of not too significant effect. Therefore, establishments such as the Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center must rise to the occasion by equally turning out options for the Nigerian Army at a pace the bad guys cannot keep up with.
The seminar is focused as translating the Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center from dream to reality. From the Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center in Giri, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni has had a meeting with the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Muhammad, in his office in Abuja to discuss areas of cooperation towards improving security in Yobe State. During the visit, the Buni informed his host that security has greatly improved across the state, but the government would still explore all available opportunities to improve the security situation. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Muhammad, while commending Governor Buni for his commitment to being proactive in security affairs, assured him of the federal government's support in that regard. It's time now to join Hingino in Lagos for more stories.
The Nigeria Police Force has confirmed that the body of late singer Ilerioluwa Oladimeji, popularly known as Mohbad, has been exhumed. In a telephone chat with NTA on Thursday, the Lagos Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyi confirmed that with the completion of exhumation, autopsy shall commence soon. Since the death of Mohbad on September 12, 2023, there have been several revelations in the public domain suggesting foul play, and in response to outcry, the Lagos Police Command inaugurated a 13-man special investigation team to unearth the controversy, and the exhumation is a prelude to the team's effort to unraveling the circumstance surrounding Mohbad's death. To other matters now, creating an ecosystem that thrives on local fabrication of seagoing vessels and investment in barge operations, while equally simplifying the process of doing business for owners, will go a long way in activating the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to deliver gains. Stakeholders, while sharing this view, also want the federal government to address the issue of certification of Nigerian seafarers in order to boost employability in the global market. Michael Olale reports.
The general notion that the seas and oceans contribute 90% to international trade is enough to buttress a common adage that doing business with the water cannot end in tears. Nigeria is not just treading this path, but stakeholders believe the creation of the Marine and Blue Economy Ministry will give room for careful analysis of opportunities and positioning strategically on how well they can be tapped.
The non-oil exploitation we are clamoring on is going to boil down on water. The major economy revenue we are getting is on water, and as such, if we take good care of our water resources, we have a lot to benefit from the water.
As a way of fast-tracking the harvest period, stakeholders say investment in vessel and shipbuilding should be prioritized.
If the government can invest and encourage people to build locally made tugboats and barges that are even seagoing, like we see the Lekki Free Ports now, there is a need for seagoing barges, but because of the costs at which these things are being gotten, you see people don't want to invest.
Although the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund, CVFF, once fully implemented, is projected to increase the number of ships flying the Nigerian flag, and beyond that, there are recommendations on simplifying the process for registration so as to have more seafarers on board ships.
If given the opportunity, if cabotage is working, this sea is big enough to employ 5,000 today. And you can imagine what it means to take 5,000 youths out of loitering.
Key players say the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy should increase consultation with major stakeholders, including the maritime institutions and school of fisheries. Driving these lofty goals to reality, industry players say should be supported with the establishment of maritime development banks. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Talking environment now, the ozone layer plays a significant role in the life of man and the ecosystem, from regulation of the Earth's temperature to supporting food production, preservation of marine life, and protection against harmful UV radiation. As the world continues to strategize towards protection of the ozone layer, correspondent examines successes recorded so far with phase down of ozone-depleting substances under the Montreal Agreement and its link to climate change. In its 36 years of existence, the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer has been fundamental in protecting human health and nature. The agreement, regarded as a success according to the United Nations, has led to the phase-out of 99% of the ozone-depleting substances. And with the ozone layer healing, millions of people and countless ecosystems have been spared from the ravages of UV radiation. The Montreal Protocol has an even bigger role to play in climate action and sustainable development, particularly as intense heat waves is making over 1 billion urban and rural poor lack cooling access, posing dangers to their lives. Executive Director, United Nations Environment Programme, says it is important to bring cooling to those who need it without intensifying climate change.
If HFC phase down is achieved, up to 0.5 degrees Celsius warming could be avoided by the end of this century. This, however, is only the beginning. because cooling equipment must be redesigned to become more sustainable, both in their use of climate-friendly refrigerants and energy-efficient features.
Although air conditioners and other cooling systems are common in Nigeria, the nation has made huge success in ozone preservation through strategic phase-out of ozone-depleting substances.
We have signed all the related amendments. As you know, ozone-depleting substances too, they are not only they deplete the ozone layer, they are greenhouse gases too.
In Lagos, be reminded that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages. The news will be back in just after the break.
Government in critical areas of education, agriculture, mining and tourism, as well as digital economy. Governor Caleb Mutfwang stated this in Jos when the French ambassador to Nigeria, Emmanuel Blattman, paid him a courtesy visit. Grace Akwegotip has details.
Receiving the French ambassador to Nigeria, Governor Caleb Mutfwang says the significance of French language globally is key to development, assuring them of his administration's collaboration with France in critical areas.
You have elaborated many areas of collaboration with the Plateau State government in education, in water, in mineral development, in cultural affiliation, in agriculture, and I want to tell you that these are sectors we hold very dear to our hearts. Let me assure you that this administration will accelerate all areas of cooperation and collaboration between the Plateau State government and the French government.
The French ambassador to Nigeria, Emmanuel Blattman, says France is in synergy with some institutions such as University of Jos, National Film Institute, and National Veterinary Research Institute. Blattman says Alliance Francaise is 20 years in Plateau State and enumerated some areas her country has made impact.
New governor of Plateau State, congratulate him for his election, and to review all our ongoing projects between France and Plateau State, and also to identify new sectors for further developing our relations.
He adds that France is open to other areas of collaboration for the growth and development of citizens. In Jos, Grace Akwekuti, NTA News.
The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, says it is set to commence analog television transmission switch off in Nigeria, with Plateau State being the pilot state for the project. Director General of the Commission, Balarabe Shehu Ilela, stated this in Jos while leading members of the Commission's board to the Plateau State government on a courtesy visit. Caleb Gochin reports.
The Board of Management of the National Broadcasting Commission is in Jos for what it describes as a crucial meeting. The Director General notes that the meeting is holding in Jos based on the strategic role the state has played in television transmission in Nigeria. Among them is becoming the first state in Nigeria to launch the pilot scheme for free digital television. The other is being the first to introduce color television transmission in Nigeria in 1974.
It's very important for us to carry along the state government and the people along so that they know what it means. It means that once we switch off the analog system, some stations that are on analog here will not be received across the state. And we should prepare their mind so that they know where we are heading to.
The NBC helmsman informed his host of the forthcoming biennial conference for broadcasters, billed for 24th October 2023, and the need for Plateau State to leverage on this and showcase its rich and unique cultural potentials. Governor Caleb Mutfwang, represented by Secretary to the Government of the state, assures the Commission of government support.
Visit that you come here to tell Nigerians, we are already telling them, we will continue to tell them as you give give us the voice so that they cannot be misled by fake news.
Meanwhile, a committee is to be set up for the implementation of the switch off of the analog transmission. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. Najatu continues with Nationwide in Abuja.
Thank you, Bilkisu. The Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission says it is working assiduously to promote and unite Nigerians through pilgrimage. Omenka Amarachuku reports that the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, made this known while flagging off the last batch of the 2023 Easter pilgrimage exercise to Israel and Jordan.
Zero abscondment, with the exception of few occurrences. And we're so happy with what we have seen. And so what we're giving to them today and telling all of them that they should behave like the previous one. As they went, they should all return back. Their characters matters a lot to the country.
So my message to all the pilgrims is for them to know the purpose for which they are going on this very spiritual mission, and to keep faith to it, and to ensure that they represent the country in such a manner that will give glory to God.
The pilgrims on spiritual exercise to Israel and Jordan are drawn from Bayelsa, Imo, FCT, the FCT, while some others are self-sponsored and expected to visit some holy sites during the exercise. Peace is described simply as the absence of violence, making way for better economic outcomes, measures, and well-being, levels of inclusiveness, and environmental performance. As Nigeria joins the international community to observe the International Day of Peace, Nigerians are advocating total commitment with people to providing a peaceful environment for the desired socio-economic development. Charity James reports.
Peace is a vital phenomenon and the path to take for the purpose of bringing growth and prosperity to any society or nation. Considering the importance of peace, the United Nations and governments of various nations since 1954 till date are not relenting in ringing the peace bell to strengthen the principles of peace and dedication to non-violence and ceasefire among individuals, groups, states, and nations. With so many people and countries suffering as a result of war, violence, crisis, and corruption, as well as cultural and religious differences, the need for peace, Nigerians say, is important as ever.
You will not notice pockets of violence, but however, sometimes those violence are actually caused by some agitation by the people.
Corruption is also a contributing factor to lack of peace.
How then can individuals, governments, and nations fight against hostility and all forms of threat to peace?
If we want to achieve peace as a people, we must begin to come back to our family values.
Understand each other. When you understand each other, peace will reign between everybody.
With the significance of Peace Bell donated by the United Nations Association of Japan in 1954, there is a clarion call on everyone to ring the Peace Bell in words and action for peace and development. In Yenegua, Charity James, NTA News.
September 21 is observed as World Alzheimer's Day. Hakimat Aliu reports that this year's international campaign is aimed at raising awareness as well as challenging the common stigma which surrounds Alzheimer-related dementia.
To medical expert, Alzheimer's is a progressive disease that impairs memory and other mental functions. It is the most common form of dementia that generalizes memory loss and loss of other essential cognitive abilities that are serious enough to interfere with an individual's daily life.
So Alzheimer's is a global disease. I think we don't have much data, but the current data shows that we have up to 2%. It's probably the highest among the dementia group of diseases.
The first Alzheimer's Month campaign was launched in 2012. Findings show that an average of 2 out of 3 people globally have little or no understanding of Alzheimer's disease and associated dementia in other countries. As the 2023 World Alzheimer's Day is being observed, organizations and individuals are encouraged to support the awareness. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
A second chance. The Anambra State government has asked the contractor handling the Niger Bridgehead to Sokoto Road Junction to return to site following the contractor's appeal to live up to expectation after the contract was revoked for his failure to complete the project as scheduled. Ndem Kalu reports.
The 2.17 kilometers Niger Bridge to Sokoto Road Junction on Onitsha, with a 1.1 kilometer flood control channel contract, was terminated when Governor Soludo paid an inspection visit to the project and discovered that the contractor was not delivering according to the timeline and agreement reached before the contract was awarded. He accused the contractor of negligence and lack of capacity to deliver the job, promising that another contractor will be engaged to execute the job.
We ensure to complete this project with your continuous and timely financial support and the ER technical support, that the road section will be completed before first day of December.
We've looked at their methodologies, we've looked at their manpower disposals and the equipment disposals, and we are convinced that if they stick to all that we've agreed, that they will deliver.
We are on the top of the situation and we'll make sure. Our promise is that the supervisory team, we're promising Anambra State that we'll do our best to ensure that Anambra gets value for money.
It is the expectation of the people that there will be no excuses in executing projects in the state. In Oka, Ndem Kalu, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says it has recorded a decline in the number of road traffic crashes, injuries and fatalities, representing 14% and 15% decrease, an improvement from year 2022. A statement by the Corps Public Education Officer BC Kazim shows the Corps recorded 5,700 road traffic crashes in the first half of 2023 as against 6,627 in the same period last year. Persons rescued with injuries accounted for 16,716 in 2023 as against 19,440 in 2022. The crash data report also indicates that in the period under review, the Corps recorded a total of 2,850 fatalities as against 3,375 in 2022. The Corps Marshal Dauda Alibiu attributes the success story to the enforcement of some strategies and innovations, improved presence of traffic personnel, public enlightenment and partner agreement, charging the drivers to maintain safety on the road. A fungal disease is ravaging ginger farms in Kaduna State. Haruna Muhammad reports that about 2,000 hectares of ginger farms in Kaduna have been ravaged by this strange fungal infection. The report.
According to the latest ranking, Nigeria is second largest exporter of ginger across the globe after India and the first in terms of quality. Kaduna State is known for its contribution to the exportation of ginger, with about 7 local governments predominantly ginger farmers. But this year, the narrative is about to change, with over 2,000 hectares of ginger farms in the state already affected by fungal disease, leaving the farmers at their own mercy.
You see my farm, it has rotting, but part of it.
For over 40 to 50 years, Kacha local government have been practicing the cultivations of ginger. We've never experienced this type of disease.
Particular organism we are suspecting is Pythium. We classify it in the world of fungi as water mold. And as the name implies, it is a lover of water. In a short period, it will spread. And the spread is very fast in the days of high rainfalls. So if it's raining day in, day out, within 1 week, it will wipe out almost everything.
Fungal disease, if not arrested on time, will be a threat to not only the farmers, but the economy of the country and next year's farming season. Hence, the call for the intervention. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
And Haruna Mohammed is live at a farm along Patrick Yakowa Road in Kaduna with the Commissioner of Agriculture to give us an update on the situation. Haruna, if you can hear me, tell us what's the latest with this fungal infection of ginger plants.
I am standing in one of the affected farms here in Kaduna. In fact, this is one of the best you can find in the state, as it is partly affected, but it took a lot of hard work for the farmer to actually get it in this condition. This is one commodity that even India comes to get this product from here to actually go and mix with theirs to get a better potency of the crop. With me is the Commissioner of the Agriculture, and who is going to share more light on the matter. Sir, is this the first time it is happening in Kaduna, and how many local governments are affected?
Well, there were signs the last 2 years and last year, but just faint. It is this year that it came in full blown. And as we are talking, 7 local governments have been affected. And you know, Nigeria today is the second largest producer of ginger. So, and Kaduna, we produce more than 80% of the national numbers for ginger. It is really, really sad. It is really unfortunate.
What is the state doing to actually curtail this trend of the fungal disease on the ginger farms? Yeah.
Well, as a government, we got the report in July that there was this ginger disease outbreak. And immediately the ministry sent to Institute of Agricultural Research in Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. The experts came with our team and they visited farms to collect samples. They collected samples of the ginger plant and the soil. After conducting the test, they came up with the discovery that it was fungal pathogens that infected the ginger crops. I mean, the identity is Pythium sp and Philisticus sp. And they came up with their recommendations, which is, the first instance, there's foliar application of the fungicides. But the fungicides was contained, the metalaxyl and mancozeb. And immediately we swung into action. We bought a lot of these fungicides and distributed to the smallholder farmers. Because for the big-time farmers, they could help themselves. We informed them of the prescription. And they also recommended that there should be raised beds in the coming year, and once we are going to plant, we have to dress the seeds with metalaxyl-based fungicides. So if in the next 2 years, we must dress our seeds so that it will treat the soil of this disease. Apart from that, in the long run, of course, after we have raised beds with clear drainages, because the fungi survives, they enjoy dampness. So once water settles, it spreads like wildfire. So with raised beds and good drainages, it will be treated. And perhaps in the next 2-3 years, they say in the long run, there should be crop rotation. That's the only thing that will heal the soil of this disease. But it is really sad. Our farmers have been devastated by this disease. And you know, it's our mainstay, especially in southern Kaduna. Most of our people don't even farm food crop. It is a cash crop. Once they harvest, they make the money to buy whatever is it that they want to buy. And in these 7 local governments that I mentioned to you, over 2,500 hectares of ginger cultivated has been infected. And it's completely melted as we are talking. It's completely melted.
Okay, lastly, sir, from this, in terms of equipment is one of the major problems here. What can you say about the equipment, sir?
Well, equipment, we are talking of processing now. We are talking of the cleaning and the slicing. The state government has, for now, established about 4 different community-based processing centers where our gingers, for proper grading for export market, they can take it there, wash it clearly, and then the machines are there for slicing and even the drying.
Okay, so that's much as we can take from you here. The threat is, if nothing is done to this effect, there is going to be threats to next year's farming season and the economy of the country.
Thank you, Haruna. That was Haruna Muhammad live from Kaduna with the Commissioner for Agriculture in the state, Murtala Dabo, on the fungal infection affecting ginger farms in the state. And now to gender matters. The need to break the gender barrier affecting women and girls in society to address gender inequality is one of the issues on the table at the 2023 second edition of the New Faces, New Voices Women in Finance National Roundtable Summit in Abuja. Bossede Able reports.
Nigeria's gross domestic product is projected to grow better if only women contribute to economic activities as much as their male counterparts. This view being held is the reason for this gathering as they strategize on way forward for economic development.
It is imperative that we address this gap head-on to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 5, Gender Equality, and Goal 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth.
The World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Score for 2023 showed an improvement of 0.3% scored compared to last year. Though the improvement may be small, but it is an indication that something is being done about it.
We cannot blame other people for our disadvantage. We have to find the answers and go and work it.
Women entrepreneurs in the non-oil sector are therefore encouraged to take advantage of the facilities provided by NEBC to enhance their export business.
We have the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Fund, which has over 60% of the fund has been deployed to female-owned businesses.
With the renewed hope of the Tinubu administration, these women are certain and committed to work towards a fair and equitable world where both men and women can enjoy full rights and achieve their full potentials in all spheres of life. In Abuja, Bossede Able, NTA News.
Let's rejoin our Kaduna Network Center for more stories with Salamatu. Hello, Salamatu.
Kaduna on Nationwide. Nigeria Army has been granted approval to acquire helicopters as part of platforms to improve its operational capabilities in addressing security challenges. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja made this known during a lecture for Senior Course 46 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. Dauda Muhammad reports.
Titled My Command Philosophy as Chief of Army Staff within Nigeria's contemporary and emerging security environment, explains the new focus of the Army towards effective leadership, which is essential to achieving set goals.
A well-thought-out command and leadership philosophy is a critical foundation tool to use to develop influential leaders and create positive organizational climates.
The 23rd Chief of Army Staff revealed that the Army has evolved its doctrine to comprehend with emerging security challenges through structure, logistics support, and leadership ideology.
If they are going for patrols, there is an helicopter overhead that will provide intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance reports to them, and I can even provide air interdiction. But for large-scale strategic offensive, we still rely on the Nigerian Air Force. What the acquisition of Nigerian Army helicopter or the activation of Nigerian Army aviation would do is to relieve pressure on the Nigerian Air Force so that the Air Force can concentrate on the delivery of those high-end operational and strategic requirements to the Nigerian Army while we take care of the tactical requirements in terms of air interdiction. And we'll continue to work effectively together.
The Armed Forces Command and College Jaji has the mandate to train tactical and operational level officers in standardized command and staff duties through professional military education to effectively accomplish constitutional role of the armed forces. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Away from Jaji, Funtua South Senatorial District of Katsina State maintains the lead as the hub of economic activities as government launched a program to raise awareness on the new national export station in Funtua Inland Dry Port. Secretary to Katsina State Government Abdullahi Garba Faskari launched the program on behalf of the State Governor Diko Muhammad reports.
The inland dry port is meant to serve as an inland intermodal terminal directly connected by road or rail to a seaport, operating as a center of transshipment of sea cargo to inland destination. Funtua Senatorial District, as the hub of agricultural activities, serves not only Katsina State but about 8 neighboring states with agricultural commodities. Participating countries' representatives on the occasion include the Chadian delegation and Nigerian investors who signed agreements with some Nigerian marketers. The investment is capable of creating thousands of direct and indirect jobs.
The manual of the operation is expected to give guidelines, conditions, and rules for the operation of the dry.
The state government has constituted a committee under Ahmed Ibrahim Dudu, the chairman of Katsina State Investment Commission, which would ensure the implementation plan. From Funtua, Mohammed Awal, NTA News.
And that is it on our package. From here, there will be more reports from our Ibadan Network Center after this timeout. Please stay tuned.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA, and welcome to Ibadan. The Nigerian Army has joined media executives and defense correspondents in bridging the gap in information flow and circulation between the military and media to strengthen national security and reportage of civil-military activities. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole reports that this was at the third quarter 2023 media chart in Ibadan.
Focus was on media as team players in Nigerian Army's internal security operations and military media relations for enhanced national security. Nigerian Army in perspective as a non-kinetic way of enhancing the nation's security.
This could be achieved by hosting seminars and workshops on military media relations and national development before the conduct of internal security operations.
The essence has been towards fostering public support for the operation through transparency and securing the understanding of the media.
Media executives at the forum suggested ways of maximizing the power of the media by the Nigerian Army to effectively communicate its activities and have vibrant feedback mechanism.
We must know and learn how to also report our military operations.
Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, represented by the General Officer commanding 2 Division, acknowledged the support so far received from the media while soliciting more effective civil-military cooperation through the media.
Thus, a forum such as this media chat is important for a more detailed examination of issues that relate to the Nigerian Army.
The media chat is the third in the series to be organized in 2023 by the Civil Military Affairs Division of the Nigerian Army in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
And that's all we could take from Ibadan at this. Our Nationwide continues in Abuja, where Najatu is standing by.
Thank you, Lanre. We continue with congratulatory messages. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated his wife of many years, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, as she clocks 63 years. In a statement personally signed, the president recalls their journey of love and marriage, describing his wife, Oluremi, as a trusted ally in the journey of life and destiny over the past 36 years. Looking forward to many more years of purposeful union together, the president prays for God to bless his wife, Oluremi, with more good health and longevity. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, has also congratulated the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu on her 63rd birthday, describing her as a mother of the nation and a role model for women. In a congratulatory message through his special advisor on media and publicity, Musa Krishi, the Speaker commends the wife of the President for her exploits in the National Assembly as a senator and a reliable pillar of support for the President, who is more determined to impact more lives across the country. Similarly, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has congratulated the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on her 63rd birthday. The minister, in a statement by the Deputy Director Press, Suleiman Haruna, acknowledges the role of the First Lady in improving the fortunes of less privileged citizens, as shown within a few months of the current administration, establishing herself as a mother of the nation. The minister prays for God to grant Senator Tinubu long life and sound health. On that note, we conclude Nationwide. Thanks for watching.